What's something you're a total boomer about? Even if you're with the times for most everything else? I shouldn't have to get an account for every website I buy something from and be hit with spam every day. I know it's because you can opt out of ad tracking or whatever the changes that's made this more prevalent, but it's incredibly irritating. You sell me something. I give you cash. We are done. Edit. Yikes. This sparked opinions. Yes. It isn't necessarily only a boomer thing, and yes, I do have a spare email address I use most of the time. But it's the act of having to create an account in the first place regardless of what email I'm putting in that annoys me. Not everything needs its own app, and I'm not giving you my cell phone number at the checkout when I'm buying toothpaste at Target. The more I have to use my phone for things, the more I hate using my phone for things. And don't get me started on mobile websites that scan right off. Car makers need to stop putting all of the car's controls on touch screens. Physical knobs are simpler, cheaper, and able to be manipulated without looking at them. In my car, if I'm using Google Maps and I want to change something specific with the climate control, I have to back out of touchscreens in Android Auto. Select Ford Sync, then select the climate tab all on the screen. Mine does have a couple physical buttons for temperature, fan speed, and auto, but if I want to manually direct the air somewhere, or most commonly turn off dual mode after someone has ridden with me, I have to go through that whole thing. All I really need is 3 knobs. How hot do you want it? Where do you want it? And how fast do you want it? Every car blogger is saying this. Volume and temp at least should be knobs. Kid should get snow days. Damn it. There's nothing more magical than a surprise day off. The governor in my state announced that snow days would still happen during remote learning because they're kids. W governor. Cameras everywhere plus the internet. Everyone filming everything all the time. Something happened in public that you don't want the whole world to see all the time for the rest of forever? Tough shit. Wanted to see the concert? Too bad. You can't see the stage through cameras. At an event or scenic spot? Gotta wade through the sea of IG models to get anywhere. Visiting family? You're about to see pictures of yourself you didn't even know were taken pop up on Facebook. Security cameras in houses. Your whole visit was just recorded. And those creepy spy cams? Yeah. People are using them as nanny cams. No one would ever think of using them for something pervy. And they certainly wouldn't put it online FFS. I'm a photographer slash videographer. I love cameras. But there's a time and a place. Not all the time and everywhere. News these days is not news, and social media is cancer. This is probably my choice too. I feel like it's either clickbait, not researched, or is what would generally be classified as local news. It's to the point where I'm the a-hole, because I'm not sympathetic to the avalanche victim 2 to 4 states slash provinces over. I'm sorry, but accidents happen every minute of every day, and to report on one person dying in an accident should not flood my news cycle, especially as major events in the world get the same level of coverage. Using automated telephone systems. Just let me talk to a human being. I think these also makes the jobs of the eventual operators worse, because by the time someone has got to a person they are usually determined and fueled by rage. Having to pay any subscription for my car. I shouldn't have to pay a subscription for remote start. Looking at you, Dodge. Turns out it's cheaper to build all features into every trim and then upcharge the customer to unlock those features. It's part of the reason right to repair is so important. It's only a matter of time before car parts have DRM, so those pesky hackers can't turn their heated seats on without paying $30 MO. John Deere has entered the chat. Some things should be simple and durable. I'd love a tool that only has 3 functions and will last me 20 years. Not a modern upgrade that cracks after the first few uses and its programming has planned obsolescence after a year. Looking at you, printers. Get a Brother laser printer. Mine is going on 10 years old and I buy a 2-pack of toner cartridges every other year. It's off at college with the youngest now. I miss them both. I refuse to watch TV on my phone. A watch is so much more convenient, right? Voice recognition. I refuse to use Siri, Alexa, and whatever else they have. Turning this feature constantly on means it's constantly listening on me. Call me a boomer. But I'm not letting these companies legally listen to everything that I do. I'm fairly tech savvy otherwise. Edit. Just to be clear, I understand how it works. I know that if I choose the gadget to be voice activated, it has to listen for my voice 24/7 and the mix stays on the whole time. I choose to not have voice activation on anything. So when a gadget asks if I want it to listen for the call word, my answer is always no. I don't know what gadget you use in what country. Here in USA it has to ask for the permission to have the mic open all the time. I'm an iPhone user, so I'm not familiar with Android phones. But my Android tablet always asks if I want to let a certain app use the mic. Unless it's a voice/text messaging app, the answer is always no. My iPhone has a setting where it listens to Hey Siri, and it's turned off. In the very rare occasions where I need to use Siri, I have to press the side button first. It's like using the phone. The mic doesn't turn on until I use the phone app. My smart TV asked if I wanted to enable voice commands, and the answer was no. This means the mic stays off. Otherwise I can sue the manufacturer for illegal wiretapping. I don't have an Alexa device, so Amazon has no way to capture the audio at home. Privacy. Being an older Gen Zer, both of my parents were born during the Great Depression. I do not replace anything that still works. I bought a new Dodge truck in 2000. It has 330,000 miles on it and serves its purpose as good as when it was new. The same goes for my flip phone and cord television. I find it incredibly hard to throw anything out that still works. Having said that, I was able to retire at 54 though, so it is not a horrible thing. The cord should be replaced though. Pays for itself in electricity costs, especially the large CRTs. They can suck a lot of juice down. The rest is awesome though. I wish I could retire someday lol. Also CRTs are worth a lot of money to the right buyers. Could pay for a new TV immediately. F every retailer that wants to give me a ref account. F your points and data collection. I go in to buy a stick of deodorant at Target and have to bypass not putting in my phone number. Cashier always says, "Are you sure?" Like I'm a ref idiot. Yes, I'm goddamn sure. You turned what should be a 5-minute interaction into a 10 minutes hassle. Shut up and take my money. To be fair, the cashier doesn't want to ask you that either. AI for customer care support. If it is something that AI can do, I can do it myself on an app or web. Then if and when you get a person, they make you listen to a recording of how most problems can be solved on their crappy app before you speak to someone. Every single thing we've done to automate customer service or tech support is only aimed at the absolute stupidest people. Those people should be eliminated by being forced to answer some basic questions before you get shunted off to talk to a real person, or you have to go through an IVR/Arcanvo. I can't talk to anyone at my health insurance company until I cross the gauntlet of endless choices, none of which are even remotely related to any of my questions, because I know how to use Google and I know how to read. Every single one of these quality of life losses is because the customer's time is now considered to be worthless and yet another corner to cut. Far too many companies know you have absolutely zero choice, so you're stuck with their crappy service. Yes, I'm looking at you, Anthem, the alleged health insurance company. Your hellish chatbot and even more useless chat support agents that are only somehow topped by the fact that you have to transfer me to an entire other business that's also owned by you in order to answer any questions I have about a prescription. Perhaps only slightly less useful than the phone support, but instead of involving a 30-minute wait, only involved 30 minutes wasted. I was told that I would be covered. I would not be covered. I would have a copay, or there would be zero copay, or it could potentially only be 20% co-insurance. So I guess they covered every single possible outcome, and I can't possibly come back and say they said I'd be covered when I get a denial letter. I have become very bitter towards the act of tipping. A simple ice lad shouldn't have 18% tip as the smallest amount. It takes them a whopping 2 minutes at most to make it. There is no reason to tip in any situation where you're not at a sit-down meal and being served. I've never felt bad about hitting no tip when I go buy a smoothie or something. Same. I'll tip for delivery, wait service and hands-on service, nails/hair salon. That's it. Tipping culture has gotten so bad that I largely just avoid those situations entirely because I disagree with the business model that forces employees to rely on tips, and I won't support it with my patronage. Quarter codes for menus. I understand how it helped keep COVID contamination down, but as we've started to move on from the pandemic, it just feels like a shortcut. When I dine in somewhere, I want to have a physical menu in front of me. Nowadays it feels like a lack of effort from the restaurant. This is me, and I will die on this hill. I'm dying with you on this hill. These new names are absolutely awful. Yes, I agree that there are too many Johns and Sarahs, but there's plenty of other strong names across all cultures and languages that already exist. We don't need you to make up a new word. And please stop spelling traditional names differently. It's not cute or unique. Name nerd circle jerk is calling your name. Brother. I'm not tipping you if I'm ordering takeout. Stop asking on the damn machine. And it's just gonna ask you a question real quick. Hit the green button when you're done as they pretend to do something else for 4 seconds. I feel kinda bad for them on that. I wouldn't expect a tip if someone is picking up takeout. And it would be so awkward to have to do that 400 times a day. Fashion. Cannot for the life of me come up with an outfit that's aesthetically pleasing. The majority of what I wear is just hoodies with random pants that aren't the same color. I'm a guy and I've always wore pretty much plain clothes and never paid attention to my style, so to speak. I finally started wearing things that I think are cool, and while I love feeling like myself, I stopped giving a ref about what others think. Finding clothes that are right quality, style and price is effing abysmal. I rarely buy clothes and online stores are my only saving grace, and even then you have to pray they fit right and everything is alright, while also paying S-ton. I recently wanted to buy a plain red shirt and just finding one without some stupid pattern is a miracle. Google will try to shove everything possible down your throat and doesn't give a ref about any description you put in. Half the time I search for something I just give up for one of the many reasons. Also, I'm the type of person that buys clothes when you need them or could use them instead of buying to fill in the wardrobe. For example, every 3 to 4 years I buy new boots from the same company that I wear every day. Quality is important, but everything nowadays is made like S and costs premium. But yeah, I also couldn't give less of a ref about fashion. I don't care what other people wear or what stores promote. I think we are giving technology to kids at way too young of an age, and it's seriously going to F with their brain chemistry, probably their eyesight too. Also, I heard people are trying to do away with learning cursive, and that just pisses me off. It's important that developing brains experience boredom in some regular capacity. The lack of that is going to have dire consequences. I'm sure of it. My mom always says no one world built the pyramids. If they had the internet they wouldn't have been bored. Sometimes I see videos of kids in school and university acting out to a ridiculous degree, and it seems clear that we've taken things too far in terms neutering parents and teachers from being able to discipline kids. There is something particularly bothersome about watching 13-year-olds acting out and threatening a teacher, etc. And the teacher can't even physically kick the kid out of the class, to the point where sometimes the only way the kid stops is another kid steps in and smacks the kid. Totally agree. This whole punishment is always bad. Movement is stupid. Punishment teaches consequences, and that you can't always just do whatever the hell you feel like. Sure, punishment used to be too harsh and frequent in the past, but now we've gone in the opposite direction. I miss when stores and fast food joints were open 24 hours. I'll be 50 this year. Not really a boomer, but I can say without a doubt people are way worse at driving these days. I believe it's just a general selfishness that has taken hold in our country. On your phone at red lights and not seeing the green. Running red lights. Blowing through stop signs, weaving in and out of traffic going way too fast, jumping people at lights, throwing trash out, and these same people usually don't have insurance, and the police don't do anything about it. At least where I live, it's a rest show out there. The police have essentially been on a silent strike since the summer of 2020. Can we live without cell phones? As I type on mine, I believe they cause anxiety, sleep deprivation, and poor mental health. Focus on everything else but the here and now.